Hello visionary parents, how are you doing? Welcome to 2026. It promises to be a very productive, fulfilling and rewarding year for us all. Amen. Now, we have not started our classes fully, but like I said, we are going to have pre-class activities. We are starting on the 9th. So now this is one of the pre-class activities we are going to be having. It is about carrying our children along in our parenting. Yes, parenting is about us. We are the parents. We need to unlearn. We need to relearn. We need to be intentional. However, when our children understand that all we are doing is for them, all we want them to do is for them, it is easy for them to play along and it makes parenting easy for us. The first thing we want to do is actually to carry our children along in an exercise I call helping your children understand their vision, where they are going to, because every single thing you either want your child to do, you want your child to stop doing, every single thing is actually about your child. It benefits your child. For example, you want your child to be polite. Like I tell my daughter, you are a global, you are not a local champion. You are a global champion. And for you to be a global champion, you need to learn how to be able to win people and influence people. You cannot win people and influence people by being careless with your tongue. So when I tell you speak more politely to people, I am actually telling you that build this skill that will help you become the global champion that you dream of becoming. So if you look at it, if you tell your child, oh, tell the truth all the time, it simply means you are telling them that, hey, telling the truth makes it easy for people to trust you. And when people trust you, it's easy for you to build network, to have good relationships and all of that, for you to have quality people in your circle. So if you look at it, at the end of the day, everything you either want your child to do or want your child to stop doing, it's for their own good, not just for today, for the future. You tell your child, okay, stop stealing, don't steal, don't take what is not yours. You are telling your child, hey, if you build this habit of taking what is not yours, you may end up in jail one day. You tell your child, no, discern, don't be influenced by friends easily. You are trying to tell them to filter the kind of friends they have around them so that they don't get influenced by friends who are no good, and then they end up making poor choices. So if you look at everything, they are actually for our good, for the good of our children. I always say to parents that, see, if whatever you want your child to start doing or to stop doing does not benefit your child, doesn't promote your value, is not tied to your child's vision, then you may realize that it is just for your selfish interest. You are just doing things for your selfish interest. So today, one of the first things you want to do to carry your children along is you want to help them understand why you are doing the things you are doing. Of course, they will know that, okay, it's a brand new year, and this year I am going to be parenting intentionally. Why am I parenting intentionally? Because I don't want to be random with you. Because if I'm random with you, it simply means I don't have a goal in mind. I don't have a focus. Anything goes, and garbage in, garbage out, like they say. So I want to be intentional. I want to put things into you that will produce the child, that will produce the human being you are supposed to become. So it is what you want to start this year by doing. Now, the first thing you want to do, let me share with you an exercise I gave to my children, which is the very first thing I want you to do. I gave my children an exercise. I told them to write about a typical day in their adult life. Describe a typical day in your adult life. So when I asked them to do that, I said, less than one page. Now, my 9-year-old wrote this back and front, a typical day in his adult life. My 14-year-old wrote this here to here, a typical day in his adult life. My soon-to-be 12-year-old wrote this and this, a typical day in her adult life. Now, even if your child is a baby, is a toddler, you can also give them this exercise. Make it age appropriate. Tell them, because I remember when I was much more younger, when I was much more younger, I didn't even know about life. I have a cousin. Back then, she told me we're just gisting one day, and we saw a woman coming from the market. She carried a bag, this Bako bag we used to shop in Nigeria. The bag was loaded, and the bag, when you buy a lot of things in that bag, the bag was loaded. She was just dragging the bag along with her. My cousin said to me, when I have grown, this is how I want my bag to be loaded. Whenever I go shopping, my bag will be full. We are about the same age. I think she's just a day or so older. But there are some children who are smarter than their age. That was my cousin. She was already super smart. But for me, I didn't even understand what that meant. I just said, okay, me too. That was it. So this tells you that even your child, if you have a child who is just 6 years, 7 years, they can carry out this exercise. They may not understand everything, but you let them know, you teach them. One thing I always say to children, that everything you do is a seed you are planting, and at the end of the day, you are going to harvest it. So how you plant the seed, the quality of seed you plant, the manure you put, the water you put, everything you do is what you do every day. I say to my children that, see, adulthood, or describe a typical day in your future. It may actually be a typical day you are describing in your future. But I tell you something, getting to that particular typical day is not just one thing you will do. It is the things you are doing now that will shape you to get there. It is the things you will do now that will determine if you actually get to enjoy that future you have described or not. Now, this is also what I want you to do. And if you are Visionary Parent Academy, you are in the Visionary Parent Academy for 2026, be sure that you are going to get a template that will help you have this conversation with your children. So you ask them to describe a typical day in their future, what it looks like, probably who is with them, where they are, what they are doing, what their day looks like. Let me read. Okay, my daughter's zone is just in front of me now. My son's zone is just in front of me. He actually had his own day routine. My daughter has her own routine, and had her own routine rather. My 9-year-old. Let me read my 9-year-old. When I grow up, I will become an inventor, and by that time I will have a Lamborghini and 2 dogs. Okay, I think that 2 dogs is coming from the fact that I'm not allowed to own a dog. Really? Okay, I have 2 dogs. I'll have a mansion, and I'll be the owner of the biggest company in the world. I will not cheat on my customers, and I will be going out to work. When I go out, people will respect me. When I get to people's houses, they will offer me many gifts. When I come home, I will respect everyone. Well, I will have a lot of opportunities, and I will grab them by the neck, whatever that means. I will be living in Canada. I will also be rewarded as the best dad ever, and I will have many trophies, and I will always help God. I will always keep God first, and I will keep my toy as a trophy. I will be married to no name, and I will be very respectful. Okay, she will be very respectful. She'll be kind and loving, and that's so my 9-year-old. So my 14-year-old also wrote his own. I wake up, and he's 14, so he definitely writes better. I wake up to the sound of an alarm, and I realize, what did he write? I have a football training, and I have my shower, and I feed my dogs. Of course, he has dog. He has the name of the dog, Zach. So they all have dogs. And then I'll exercise, I'll eat. Let me just skim through, I'll eat. I have chickens too. I'll play with my dad. I'll play the chicken, blah, blah, blah. He will go for training. He loves sports. He'll go for training and all of that. He'll do a movie night and that. So my daughter's zone is... So I just came back from the hospital after performing a brain surgery on a couple of patients, and also because my shift has ended, I get down from my limousine because I have a driver, and I ring the doorbell, and my doorkeeper opens my door. So I walk into my giant mansion and I take a warm bath. Then I eat some lunch and pay my maids and gatekeeper's salary, and I politely ask one maid to get me orange juice and some meat, and I sip the juice while watching. I don't know. When my TV time is over, I check my list and call my mom, and then we have a 2-hour conversation, and I invite her and my dad over. Shortly before they arrived, my kids and my husband get home, and then my mom and dad come, and I help my children with their homework, and I gist a little with them before giving them some snacks and letting them watch TV because it's Friday. Then I go talk to my parents and serve them anything they pick from the pantry, and me and my girls, mom and my girls go shopping for clothes, shoes, accessories, and toys needed to surprise mom or something like that. Then with a car wait list. So then the boys and my dad go to the park. Then my mom and I go to the cinema. Anyways, reading all of that was also important. What am I trying to tell you is a future they have kind of imagined in their head. So at the end of the exercise, one of the things I asked them was that, okay, this future you have imagined, there's no prison inside, no, there's no drug addiction inside, no, there is no fights, no chaos inside. Everything is just calm and peaceful. So now for you to be able to get this kind of future, it simply means that you have to be intentional. You have to deliberately put in the work to get that kind of future. So, and I refer to, what's the man's name again? Ben Carson. Look at his future. Look at all the work he had to put into getting the kind of future. At some point, he even wanted to be President of the United States of America, but he later just stepped down for Donald Trump. So look at the work he had to put in, and then talking about Harrison and Harrison Gwamishi, the trending issue right now, and Pastor Chris Okafor, they also came in. Look at, do you think they are enjoying? Do you think this is their future? They were children years ago. Today is their future. Do you think they are enjoying what is happening to them? They are not enjoying it. Do you think their future now is peaceful, is calm? It's just like they imagine it? No, it simply means that they may have been something they didn't quite pay attention to, and all of that is coming now to sabotage them. So what we want to do is to make sure that since you already have a picture of your future, you are deliberately making the choices that will help you achieve that. Now, you cannot, because you don't know it all. I'm your parent. I am guiding you towards making that choice. And you also are going to be intentional about making the choice. So now this was the conversation I had with my children. And at this point, I will encourage you. You are going to give the book, The Gifted Hands, to your child to read. They are reading, they are noting every single lesson. I think I also created that. I created that yesterday. I am going to also send it to you. You are going to see the major lessons in it that your child can pick from, for them to realize that whatever future they desire, whatever future they dream of, is not just something they will not just wake up and wait for the future to happen. No, the future will not just happen. They will have to walk the path that will lead to the future. They will have to deliberately stretch themselves for the future to happen. It's not easy, but it is very, very possible. They have to stretch themselves. They have to leave their comfort zone if they actually want that future. So now this is the very first thing you are going to do. We have not even started because we have a lot of things we are doing. You are going to write your goals, because at the end of the day, you are writing your goals. You are getting your customized parenting template and structure. I don't know how your family system is. I don't know how many kids you have. I don't know when you go to work, when you come back. I don't know the number of time you have, hours you have with your children. Now, this is why you are going to create that in one of our earliest classes. No, this one, you're also going to get your proper orientation. So this one is just something random that you are meant to do to put your children, to get them started. And thank God that schools are no longer resuming this Monday. They are resuming next Monday. So you still have up to 8 days to sit them down and to do this. And I encourage you, one of the things we do in the Visionary Parent Academy is read. I will also, just the other day, I was trying to get a couple of books our children can read. Why we read our own? They read because books are definitely one of the major tools we can use to actually shape their mindset, to reach their heart, to help them understand everything, that to help them understand, you know, why their life belongs to them, why they need to be intentional, why they need to do the things they do, or they need to listen to us. So I'm compiling a couple of books that we can actually use for our children. So while we read our books, they also read their books. So I'm going to send you the templates, and one of the very first things you want to do is to have this conversation with your children. The template explains everything. It breaks down how you can have this conversation with your children. So I guarantee you, if you have registered for the Visionary Parent Academy 2026, it is going to be your best parenting experience ever. So if you have a friend who hasn't registered, our registration is still open, and it's still very, very open. So what you want to do is to tell them about the Visionary Parent Academy. Let them jump in and register now before registration closes. So yes, carry out this activity that I just mentioned, and then even though we have not started, feel free to come to the class, ask your questions, and let the conversation get started. And on the 9th, which is next week Friday, we begin fully. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.